Hello, Arlington Public Schools community. My name is Liz Homan, and I am the superintendent of the Arlington Public Schools. This video, which is nothing fancy, is intended to orient members of our community to our very exciting, brand new, and now open for public comment 5-year strategic plan draft for the Arlington Public Schools. We understand that many of our stakeholders don't have time in your busy lives to comb through hundreds of pages of strategic plan. So I've created this short video as a quick orientation to the strategic plan and as an invitation for you to dive deep into those elements that make you curious or raise questions for you, and most of all, to ask you for your feedback. So we hope that after you watch this video, you will take a look at our plan website and fill out the form on the website to provide us with your commentary. During the public comment period, which will go through about mid-March, this plan is very much still a draft. We're going to continue to revise and refine the plan to reflect your input and hope that many of you will take a few minutes to learn more and to offer your comments. The plan is a year in the making. I want to tell you a little bit about how the plan was developed so that you understand what it is you're looking at. The work began in the spring of 2022 with a large group of more than 60 Arlington staff, families, administrators, and elected officials. That initial group developed our vision statement, mission statement, and 4 strategic priorities, which form the spine and foundation of the plan. In the fall of this school year, 2022, a smaller group of stakeholders from the original group were able to give hours of their time, and they came together to craft initiatives aligned with the vision, mission, and priorities of the plan itself. This group gathered feedback as they drafted from students, staff, and families and grounded their work in the recommendations of the Arlington Public Schools equity audit that had taken place just prior to the development of the initiatives. So I'd like to pause for a moment and talk about that equity audit. As a simultaneous effort, the school system engaged in a participatory equity audit under the leadership of the Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Belonging, and Justice, Margaret Creedle-Thomas. This audit took place over the course of the spring of 2022 and engaged a representative group of Arlington stakeholders in data analysis, empathy interviews, and focus groups. And then those stakeholders engaged in data analysis from those empathy interviews and from various reports from the school system. Findings were shared with the community in August of 2022. The recommendations from the audit are in front of you in the video, and they were the first place we started as we began designing the initiatives that ultimately became part of the strategic plan. For those of you listening, the recommendations were: strategic recommendation 1, create or refine and use a bias and discrimination reporting process. Recommendation 2, begin or refine human resources data tracking processes. Recommendation 3, require ongoing professional development in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Recommendation 4, carry out a review of intervention services provided to students in the Arlington Public Schools. Recommendation 5, create clarity about roles, expectations, and vision for the district to effectively integrate diversity, equity, belonging, and inclusion efforts. And recommendation 6 was to begin to transition from a culture of compliance and accountability towards one of student-centeredness and inclusion. Each of these recommendations included recommended or potential actions for implementation and were reviewed by the Strategic Planning Committee who developed the initiatives so that our initiatives would reflect the recommendations that came directly from the equity audit. Now I'd like to share a little bit about the structure of the overall plan with you, which will help you as you navigate through all of its various components. The true foundation of the plan are our vision and mission statement. These 2 sentences are the result of a lot of deliberation, discussion, and careful revision from the Arlington community and have been shared very broadly with members of our staff, our families, and even our students. I'll spend a bit of time on the words in these statements because they were very intentionally chosen. Starting with the vision statement, we begin with the creation of an equitable educational community, which is our ultimate goal. We then emphasize that in this community, all learners will feel a sense of belonging. We were very intentional about emphasizing that in this community, all of us are learners, students, staff, and families, which is why we use this term learners. We also recognize that in order for our learners to engage, they must feel as though they belong in and are cared for by other members of that community. So sense of belonging is very important. Next, the vision emphasizes the importance of growth and joy in this community, and also recognizes that growth is not always joyful, but we hope that all learners will experience joy as a result of their learning in the Arlington Public Schools and as a result of the growth that they encounter in the learning process. Finally, the vision statement articulates a future in which our students are empowered both to shape their own futures, individual empowerment, and to contribute to their communities and an improved world for all of us. So it's both about the individual and about our collective learning and growth and development of joy. That's the vision statement. In the mission statement, we emphasize that we will do exactly what we will do in order to realize the vision. So the mission acts as sort of a bridge to our 4 priorities. The mission commits us to focusing on the whole child, providing inclusive and innovative learning opportunities, valuing everything our students bring to us, their identities, their learning approaches, preparing our staff to hold all of our students to high standards, while also making sure that they, the staff and the students, have the support that they need to learn and thrive. And it commits us to doing all of this while we sustain strong two-way relationships with families in our community. Importantly, the vision and the mission sort of set out the horizon we're headed towards. That's the vision, right? We acknowledge that we're not yet there. And what we're going to do to get ourselves there. That's the mission, the road that gets us to that horizon. The next piece of the plan are the 4 priority areas. This starts to categorize the work of the plan into its component parts so that we can think about the actions that need to take place in each priority area. Each priority has a needs assessment associated with it. So when you go into the materials, you'll notice that there is a document that's called a needs assessment for that portion of the plan. That statement digs into the data to explain where our challenges are for that particular priority area and sets the stage for us to articulate what our necessary actions will be in order to address those areas of need. Each priority area and the initiatives within it also has outcomes associated with it, which are intended to measure the extent to which we address the challenges that are articulated in the needs assessment. So the 4 priority areas are priority 1, ensuring equity and excellence. This one's really about the teaching and learning. I would argue this is the most important priority, which is why it is priority number 1. Priority number 2, valuing all staff. Priority number 3, improving infrastructure operations and sustainability. And priority 4, sustaining collaborative partnerships. Priorities 2, 3, and 4 all set the conditions necessary in order for us to ensure equity and excellence for all of our students. In the time I have left, I'm going to walk you through each of the priorities and the initiatives that are a part of each one. I will briefly summarize the actions associated with these initiatives and invite you to take note of the initiatives that interest you most so that you can dig a little deeper to understand what we're planning to do and how you might contribute to the work of the plan. So I would encourage you, as I move through the initiatives, to take some notes and then to go to our website afterwards and take a look at the actual documents associated with each of the initiatives to see and tell us what you really like and what you're excited about and what we might have missed. So starting with strategic priority area 1, I would say, like I said, this is the single most important one. It focuses on teaching and learning. The 3 initiatives under this plan are to build on and improve an instructional vision that builds instructional coherence, to focus on student belonging and adult support for engaging students so that they feel a sense of belonging, and on our implementation of multi-tiered systems of support. Also key to priority area 1 is that priority area 1 in the needs assessment, we identify 5 focal groups. We're using the term focal groups on purpose. We try not to say subgroups because sub implies under, but these are groups we want to focus on. We want to focus on these groups because they are the groups of students who are currently the most marginalized by the Arlington Public Schools, according to some of our outcomes data, according to some of our survey data, and according to the conversations we've had with students as well. This isn't to say that other groups in our community are not also being underserved by the system, but it is to say that if we design our school system to improve the experiences of students, families, and staff who fall into these groups, then we will definitely improve outcomes and experiences for all members of the Arlington Public Schools community. In other words, we're trying to identify groups around which we can design so that we improve the experience for all Arlington schools, families, and students. So the 5 focal groups in the plan are the students and families and teachers of students who have IEPs, the students, families, and staff who identify as Black and or Hispanic Latino, students and families and staff who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual, and asexual. Also LGBTQIA+ is the acronym for that. Students who are multilingual learners and their families, as well as students and families who speak a language other than English as their primary language in the home, and students and families who are identified by the state as being low income. The initiatives in priority 1 focus on several actions to build on what is already a strong instructional foundation in the Arlington Public Schools. And here are a few of the things that we're planning on doing as part of priority 1. First, we plan to establish an instructional vision for pre-K to 12 instruction for the entire school system with deeper learning as a framework so that we can improve instructional consistency across the district and coherence while making sure teachers still have the freedom to maneuver and to practice their craft. Another action under priority area 1 is to improve students' sense of belonging and connection to school through a focus on embedded social and emotional learning and improved and expanded supports in diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as culturally responsive instruction. Another action step under priority 1 is to select and implement a new K-5 literacy core curriculum. We also plan to examine and adjust tracking and leveling practices in the secondary grades in particular. But as part of our MTSS initiative, we also plan to look at tracking and leveling practices as well as how we sort and provide interventions to students at the elementary grades. And finally, one of the actions in this area is to establish a robust and comprehensive multi-tiered system of support that will include protocols for how and when and under what circumstances we communicate with families about the interventions and assessments that we are putting into place. If you want to learn more about any of these actions, you should go check out Priority Area 1 initiatives 1.2, 1.1, and 1.3, which are listed here. For strategic priority 2, we're really focused on making sure that we continue to diversify and retain our staff. So we have 3 initiatives under strategic priority 2. They are pathway to teaching programs, reimagining our professional learning that we provide to our educators, and ensuring that we provide all of our staff members with competitive compensation. Some of the actions under this priority area include the creation of programs that enable and support paraprofessionals and other interested staff to become licensed educators. We're very excited about putting some pathway programs like this in place. Also to create programs that inspire our youth, our own students, to explore career paths and education, hopefully so that they'll return to the Arlington Public Schools and be teachers in our schools. Also to continue work that will transform professional learning and expand teacher leadership opportunities and professional learning choices for our educators, including professional learning that will be led by our educators. And finally, through collective bargaining, one of our goals for strategic priority 2 is to continue our progress on increasing salaries for staff, particularly those staff, including teachers and paraprofessionals whose salaries fall below the average of the Town Manager 12, which is a group of peer communities with a similar tax base and financial profile to Arlington. We want to make sure that we are competitive and that we're attracting competitive candidates into our teaching roles in the town. Strategic priority 3 is really focused on all of the surrounding stuff of our district and making sure that our facilities and the nutritional resources that we provide our students and our operations are all running smoothly so that we create as few barriers to access as possible in our school system. So priority 3 is focused on having inclusive and modern schools, on ensuring all students have access to healthy meals, and on ensuring that our facilities are prepared and ready to welcome students every single day. So some of the actions associated with priority 3 are to evaluate and implement improved workflows, particularly in the central office and in our operational departments such as finance and human resources, basically to make sure that what can be a bureaucracy is running as smoothly as possible and that we are doing as much as we can to reduce the impact on the environment in our offices that support our schools. Also, an action step is to ensure that all of our classrooms have the necessary technology and supplies to support an inclusive learning environment. This includes things like voice amplification, appropriate projection technologies, and the technology that students use to support their learning every single day. Another action is to expand and ensure consistency of APS breakfast and meal programs, using feedback from the community to make these programs as robust as possible. We've already expanded in the last 18 months our breakfast program, so we want to make sure that's consistently implemented and available to all of our students, and that we are improving upon our lunch options and giving students the appropriate programming that they need to socialize during lunch and to make sure that they get a nutritious break during the day, as well as breakfast before if they need that. And finally, we want to develop a multi-year action plan for facilities upgrades that will inform both capital requests that go through the town for major projects and our internal budgeting so that our schools can look refreshed and ready to receive students at the beginning of each school year. And finally, strategic priority 4 really focuses on making sure that our relationships with families continue to improve and that we put in the structures necessary to improve our communications with our two-way partnerships with families. So strategic priority 4 focuses on 3 initiatives. One is access to before and after school services, which our working families in Arlington increasingly have need for. To build and create, not so much build because we're actually building it now, but to staff appropriately a welcome center and centralized registration that will allow us to offer new services to families, as well as educational resources for families and translation services for families, which I'll explain in a moment, and to improve communication and partnership, as well as coherent communication with families that is consistent across our schools and the district. So some of the actions associated with that. One is to expand access to before and after care services and extracurriculars with a focus on creating easier access to these programs for the focal groups who sometimes struggle to have the same level of access to those. So we really want to take a look at who has access to some of our before and after school care programming and extracurriculars and make sure that we eliminate access barriers to those services as much as we possibly can. We'd like to create and staff a centralized welcome center. This center will oversee all aspects of registration, translation, and district level communication. And we're also hoping we'll implement new programming that can be an educational resource for families about how to navigate the system, about what services are available in the Arlington Public Schools. And also that this Welcome Center will oversee and expand access to translation and interpretation services across the Arlington Public Schools. And finally, not quite finally, I think there's one more, but also these initiatives will develop streamlined protocols and expectations for the new Arlington Public Schools website, all of our school websites, and our one-way communication with families. We understand that sometimes we're inconsistent in the ways in which we communicate out with families, and our websites have been historically inconsistent. And so we want to improve and streamline that and make sure that we have clear expectations in place so that families know what to expect of communications from our schools. And so that we have clearer access to all of the resources available on our website. And finally, we are hoping to implement Family University and similar programs and practices that will build two-way opportunities for dialogue between families and our schools, and also provide families with whatever resources they need to access the services in our schools. So that is a summary of the initiatives and priorities that are part of the Arlington Public Schools strategic plan. We have a website that I will be sending out along with this video, and you can access the website with the QR code that's now on the screen, or at the short link that's right here at the top of the screen, or via the email that I'm going to send. And we really hope that you will take a look at the website, that you will take a look at the initiatives that are most interesting to you, or that you want to weigh in on, or maybe tell us what we missed or what we should reprioritize or deprioritize from what we've already placed in the plan. We're looking forward to your feedback. There will be a form linked on the website right on the front page and also over here in the menu. And we really would like to hear from as many community members as possible and encourage you to share this widely. Thank you if you have listened this far. If not, and you're already exploring the resources, that works too. And we look forward to hearing from you and publishing the final plan as soon as it is ready. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.